If you've been driving a more fuel-efficient car, you may have been cheering the fact that not only were you paying for less gas, but also paying less in gas taxes. As more and more Americans have done the same thing, though, governments have been noticing. Some states have actually seen a drop in the money they take in through a gas tax. Here in Oregon, about $5 million a year. And since that's how they pay for the roads, they've decided they have to do something about it. Just when you thought they couldn't tax you for one more thing in your life, the state of Oregon has a new one, a mileage tax. A tax for every single mile you drive. And just because you don't live here, don't think it isn't going to come to your state. Advocates say it's necessary to replace the gas tax with a mileage tax because soon there will be many cars that won't run on gas at all.
The reason the gas tax has worked for so long, 90 years now, is because everybody pays a little. And if some people aren't paying anything, the system starts to fall apart and we need a replacement.
So far, it's just a proposal, but this official ran a mileage tax trial with 300 Oregon vehicles, and this engineering professor helped come up with the equipment to track the miles and charge the tax. Now, Oregon's known for being radical about going green, and it's pushed hard to get Oregonians away from gas guzzlers.
I do think that people who make environmentally conscious choices about what they drive should be rewarded for that.
So those Oregonians were quick to complain those who've switched to more fuel-efficient cars would likely pay more under a mileage tax, while the gas guzzlers would pay less. Let's imagine everyone's driving 1,000 miles a month. Those in a car getting 10 miles to the gallon pay $24 a month in state gas taxes. Those getting 40 miles to a gallon pay $6. A mileage tax would likely be 1.2 cents per mile. Both car owners would end up paying $12 a month. Half off for the gas guzzler, double for the gas sipper.
To me, it seems like Oregon is going to punish people for doing the right thing.
But environmentalists like Hager-Baumer have been assured by WHITTY and others that the tax could be modified to charge gas sippers less and gas guzzlers more.
It doesn't have to be a flat rate system.
So that the person driving the more fuel-efficient car pays just a little bit less per mile than the person driving the gas guzzler.
Others, though, still have big problems with the mileage tax.
I think this is an invasion of our privacy and a colossal waste of our taxpayer dollars.
It's estimated it costs some $33 million to implement the mileage tax in Oregon alone, hundreds of millions nationwide. And special devices would have to be put into cars to add up the miles and tax them.
We already have the government taking over General Motors. Now they'll be taking over all of our motors.
But Dr. David Kim says these devices would be relatively cheap. He and the others who engineered the Oregon test used off-the-shelf devices. And they say the beauty of the system is motorists won't have to do anything special. Devices in gas stations will read the miles driven, deduct the gas tax, and charge the mileage tax instead. Electric car drivers might have a tax added to their power bill.
We were concerned about making it easy for the motorists so they didn't have to do some complex thing.
But the biggest worries appear to be over privacy. Folks wonder if this will be a way for government to track motorists. WHITTY and Kim say they made sure the devices wouldn't do that.
There is no trip data stored on the on-vehicle device.
We eliminated the tracking device because we didn't want to know where they were going.
Some suspect there may be a sneaky environmental agenda going on here, taxing miles to make people want to drive less of them. WHITTY says that's not his agenda, but it did happen in the tests.
Because we had a screen in the car so people could actually see what was happening as they drove, some people did drive less because they were more aware of it.
An economist will tell you that what you tax, you get less of. So when you tax gas, that's the most direct way to reduce the use of gasoline. When you tax miles, that's the most direct way to reduce the amount that people drive.
But for most states, the attraction of a mileage tax is that it should be a more steady source of revenue for roads as fewer people drive gas guzzlers and pay less gas tax. Several states are doing test programs now, and Oregon Representative Earl Blumenauer is pushing for a test study nationwide.
So, government may be coming to your dashboard any day now.
Williams says the blogosphere is filled with people protesting the fact they might soon have to pay a mileage tax. And when transportation officials in Washington suggested it for the whole country, angry reaction poured in so fast and furiously they quickly stopped talking about it. But it's definitely not going away. Reaction across the nation to the idea of a mileage tax has been quite negative so far. But policymakers so love the idea, there's a good chance a mileage tax is going to be coming to your gas station soon. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Portland, Oregon.